What's going on? Welcome to Rebel 9. Check it out. So, yesterday, I was thinking about um, handgun makers that are close to the Glock. And when I mean by close to the Glock, I mean when it comes to value and when it comes to reliability and being proven or pretty much can give Glock a good run for their money, right? I was figuring it out and I said, well, the Glock is pretty much the gun that most law enforcement carry. Uh, they entered the military trials with the 19X, but it didn't make it. But not only that, Glock is one of the most reliable pistols in the world. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear that. A lot of people that hate Glock. There's people that hate Glock, man. Believe it or not, they don't like them. They call them ugly. I think they're simple. I think they're beautiful in his own sense, but they work. Okay, now early on, Glock did have issues. When they had when they first came out, I believe they were having issues with the Glock 17 early on. I have to do some more research, but I researched it like a month ago, and I read where the 17 was having some reliability issues, kind of like teething issues when Glock first came out with their firearms. Okay, so I think this was around the 80s, something like that. But they have perfected their craft, man. Now there have been some Glocks that had some tuning issues. You have to think the Gen 4s had some issues, and Glock iron them out. Glock will handle they will take care of their issues with their firearms. That's one thing I will say. Now, one thing I will say about Glock though, they are a little behind the curve when it comes to a lot of other manufacturers. Like when it comes to the design, or they don't really put a lot of different things on a lot of their guns. They like to keep it simple, and I can kind of agree with it because if something ain't broke, don't try to fix it, man. For the most part, what's been working for them all these years, that's good. Let it stay that way. They tried to be a little innovative. You starting to see like the little gimmicky colors on some Glocks now. You're starting to see now they have a micro compact, which is the Glock 43X. Um, Sig is the one that really so-called Sig Sauer started that, but I'm the believer that Keltec is the one that really started the micro compact thing. And I think Sig was next. But Keltec was the first gun manufacturer to really come out with a micro compact, in my opinion. And then everybody else jumped on board. But Glock, um, they are rather when you compare Glock to these other handguns right here, these other manufacturers. Notice I have three here that are budget. These are budget pistols brands. This is T size. This is a Turkish import, imported by SDS in the United States. This is Canik, which is a Turkish import by Century Arms, and this is a Taurus. And Taurus was based in Brazil, and it was also in Miami, Florida, and now Bainbridge, Georgia. Okay, but Taurus is what you would call, I guess you can call it, American brand now as well too. These two are Turkish. Now I put the Taurus out here for good measure, but you can see all the other manufacturers, they kind of like update their pistols. This is a Gen 3 Glock. And if you saw a Gen 1 and 2, it doesn't have these finger grooves here and some other things. But for the most part, it's exactly the same almost as the Gen 2s and 1s with a few minor cosmetic differences. But in these guns here are more up-to-date modern pistols. You have you have the guns coming out with the finger rest here. Um, the the triggers on all these guns are way better than Glock triggers. I'll say that. Now Glock triggers they're not as they're kind of I can't explain how I would describe a Glock trigger, but when it comes to all of these triggers are phenomenal compared to a Glock trigger. Glock's trigger ain't the worst, but it damn sure ain't the best at all. That's one thing issue with Glock. They have to probably work on that. I have no problem shooting them. And to be real, man, if you win a shootout or you're defending your house or yourself, it's not gonna fucking matter how smooth the trigger is. You're not gonna be thinking about that during that. So I don't really get into all of this the trigger thing. I don't really get into that as much. But if you target shooting, you can pay attention to that kind of stuff when you target shooting and things like that. But if you're in a real world situation, it is not going to matter which one of these guns is in your hand. You're going to go to work. It doesn't matter. But let me just get into what I really wanted to say in the video. Now, the Glock is not really a budget gun. It's considered a mid-range, moderately priced gun. All right, up there, $500 to $600 range, give or take what model that you get. Mostly, Glocks hover around 550. That's the base price range you're going to pay for a brand new Glock. Okay, now these other ones here are considered budget pistols, so that is what the point I'm trying to get to. One of these budget pistols are as close to a Glock as you're going to get, in my opinion, when it comes to reliability, when it comes to being innovative, when it comes to being popular, and it's only one. Okay, now you got SDS or T-size, Canon, and Taurus. It got to be one of those. Is it Taurus? I don't think it is. Now, Taurus, definitely a budget brand gun. They have had many issues in the past. They seem to be smoothing out a lot of their issues. I early on, like I said, I had some Tauruses that I had problems with, and I was kind of sour and turned off from Taurus for a few years. And then I went ahead and got when I started saying, okay, I'm giving Taurus another try. And the first gun I bought was a G2C, and I liked it. It felt really good in the hand, very smooth shooting for its size. So far for me, mine has been reliable. I didn't put that many rounds through it yet, but from what I put through it, it hasn't given me any problems. Put about 500-600 rounds through it. Not really a big indicator on how reliable long-term a pistol is, but I mean, 500 rounds, it's doing what it's supposed to do for right now. It's not me. I'm not carrying a gun or anything like that. It's just meant for a collection piece, but it's good to have. Okay. And I started getting more Tauruses. I bought this one, then I bought a TH40C, and then I bought a revolver. I had a used 380 Taurus that was kind of giving me issues, a PT638, and then I have some other Tauruses on the list that I want. Absolutely, so stay tuned. But it is not Taurus. Taurus, first of all, it's not a Turkish brand. It's American / South American. So this is not as close to Glock as you're going to get. Long-term reliability with Taurus is probably going to be question marked. We will have to see. I haven't seen any 10,000 round Taurus pistol test anywhere. If y'all know any videos of a Taurus going 10, 20,000 rounds without having to go in for repair, send it to me. Let me eat my words. Okay. That's not to say that the Taurus can't do it. I'm just saying I haven't seen it. Okay. Now, next, you got the T-size. This is a PX9 Gen 3 to be exact. I recently bought this. I have not fired it yet. This is brand new, and I caught this for $200. This is absolutely a budget gun, but when you look at it and the quality of it, it's damn near on point with a Glock pistol. I took it down and I looked in the internals and I compared it to like an XD and the Glock. Machining is good, everything. And actually, when you look at it visually, it gives you remnants of different pistols. This kind of looks like HK, like a heckling coat. This kind of gives you XD Springfield vibes all in the back here. So it's an awesome, man, this is the best feeling gun I've ever picked up. And it comes with some 18 round magazines, man. And this is about the same size as a Glock 19. They're about the same size when it comes to the slide and everything. They are in the same class of guns, which I consider compact pistols. The T-size is just a little longer, but they're both compacts. They're both compact pistols, if you can see that. But the grip, the T-size is much longer in the grip. Obviously, for the round, it holds a higher capacity. But most pistols are never gonna. Most can't really get to the Glock's bore axis, man. I mean, Glock just sits right there in the cradle of your finger, in your web of your finger, better than mostly any pistol I've ever picked up. And that kind of keeps the pistol from kind of like bouncing around everywhere the lower the bore axis is. But I'm pretty sure this will be able to handle recoil much better than the Glock 19. To me, this is not really a recoil, a high recoiling pistol at all. It's a very controllable gun, but there's some that shoot much smoother than the Glock 19. And this is my favorite handgun, by the way. But just saying. But it is not the T size. The T size is not. It can get there, but they don't have the popularity yet. They don't. I don't believe they have the proven. They're not proven over here in America yet, or I don't think proven really worldwide like the Glock might be. Okay, or I'm kind of speaking as well. I'm trying to figure out how I want to really put this. I'm not trying to like knock the other brands. It's like what I'm trying to say is which one of these, as far as marketability wise is concerned and popularity and quality, is close to the Glocks. And I don't think this is there yet. A few years to start catching on a little bit more, it'll probably be there. But the pistol that is there, as far as I'm concerned, is Canik. Canik is putting out different models, smaller pistols. A new Canik that just came out, the Mede MC9. You have this is TP9SF, the SA. You have the Rivals. There's different Canik pistols that are coming out that are, pretty much aiming for Glock. Okay. And the stuff that comes with the Canik, you got a really nice holster, better than Glock. I don't think Glock don't even really come with official holsters like that. At least mine didn't. Got a nice little carry holster here. It comes with, like most pistols, come with this magazine loader, back straps, cleaning rod, the standard stuff. But some models of the Canik comes with like this little small tool that's resembling a gun. Mine didn't come with that. And all of that is value, man. You would find that in like a $500-600 gun, when you're getting it from Canik for about $400-350. They're reliable. I think that these might even be carried by I'm not sure if this is a Turkish military gun. I'm not sure if it's this. I think it's one of these. I have to do some more research on that. Don't quote me on that. But just for Canik being as popular, it's really popular in the United States, is catching on. A lot of people have these guns. They're continuously coming out with new models. They're coming out with so many different variants. And I think, in my opinion, the Canik is the closest you will get to a Glock as far as the budget pistols is concerned, is the Canik. For the quality and the reliability and the popularity, I think it goes unmatched compared to any other budget gun. Rather, it's even Americans, even some of the American budget guns, like the Taurus, the Canik smokes it, I believe. And a lot of people think Canik is the Glock killer. I that's subjective. That's to each his own. You know what I mean? There's some torture videos out on Canik. I haven't really looked and saw if they had any 20,000 round count videos on these pistols, but the way I look at them, I don't see why these shouldn't make it to that high round count. But can they handle that much of a round count without getting sent back to Canik for repair, or worn out barrels, or broken parts, springs, anything? Not sure, but I think it's the closest to it. But this gun here, the Glock, definitely has a proven track record of going 20,000 rounds, maybe more, without having to be sent in for repairs or anything major going wrong with it, and it still was going. I think the closest to this might be the M&Ps. The Smith & Wesson M&P might be the closest runner-up when it comes to those kind of high round counts. But Absolutely, in my opinion, the Canic pistols are the closest that you will find to a Glock when it comes to the budget pistols. Out of the Turkish ones, especially out of the Turkish guns, Canic. I'm gonna get y'all opinion. Drop a comment. This is Rebel 9. Catch y'all later on the next one. Have a good day. Watch your six.